What's up, YouTube? What is going on, man? Hey, I figure I'd do one more, man. This is illegal aliens hiding in freezer in Nebraska's biggest ICE raid. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. This is the leading attorney.
Based on President Donald Trump's immigration.
Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, man. Let's check this bad boy out.
Based on President Donald Trump's immigration enforcement policies, the biggest immigration raid in Nebraska's history just took place, and the entire state is crashing out.
ICE raids sparking fear in communities all across the country, including in Omaha, Nebraska, where 80 people were detained in raids targeting 2 businesses yesterday.
Wow.
The cell phone video capturing inside the lunchroom at a food processing plant showing ICE agents with handcuffed employees.
A sense of fear grips this tight-knit community.
Bring your paperwork with you. Show your hands.
After ICE raided this meatpacking plant in Omaha, Nebraska.
The looks on everybody's faces, it was just scared, crying.
Supervisor Stephanie Favila was in the morning meeting when agents entered Glen Valley Foods, arresting more than 70 migrants, including 3 of her family members.
Wow.
How is this for you?
It's hard because they just call me asking info about my cousins, and I don't know anything. I don't know if they're going to get deported. I don't know if they're good. I just don't know anything.
The men and women detained are suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. ICE says it's Nebraska's largest worksite immigration roundup in President Trump's second term.
This does impact our community, and it does create fear.
John Ewing Jr. has been the mayor of Omaha since Monday. He says he doesn't support workplace raids.
We want to ensure that people are treated fairly and that they have due process in the course of these things.
What is this guy who's been the mayor since Monday? What is he talking about? He wants people to be treated fairly, so he doesn't want immigration to go to the workplace for these raids? Where do you want them to go? House to house and do this in front of all the kids? Listen.
And what make it so bad is half of them was in jail, and they wouldn't let ICE pick them up from jail. Like they in the country illegally, and they in jail. So all you gotta do is just turn them over to ICE from there, and then they take them out the country. But nah, they wouldn't do that. They let them go, and so ICE gotta go pick. Man, that's some bull. That's some bull right there. If I ever heard it.
Treated fairly, so he doesn't want immigration to go to the workplace for these raids? Where do you want them to go? House to house and do this in front of all the kids? Listen, I am the lead attorney. I've practiced over 20 years and I've handled countless immigration cases. And I'm going to give you an inside, behind the scenes perspective on how all of this works. Now, let's set the scene. What happened when ICE showed up at this meatpacking plant? You can see here when the ICE officials showed up to the plant, the workers went scattering. They were hiding in between stacks of meat. They were hiding in freezers. They were even hiding in the walls of the plant. Look at some of these women. Now, I can tell you, having represented so many of these people, that I guarantee that 7 out of 10 of these women have children at home, and probably more than one. Their kids are at school, and when their kids get let out, these kids will learn that their mothers are not coming home. Look at her. Do you feel bad about this? Now, many people are blaming President Trump, saying that his immigration policies are too stern. But many people are blaming these women, these mothers who are putting their own kids in this situation, asking, why don't you just self-deport? You know you're not here in the country legally. A lot of people in this nation are frustrated with the illegal aliens and their protests, but some people are going one step further and are looking at the owners of these companies where these illegal aliens are working.
Yeah.
They ask, why are these CEOs allowed to hire all of these people who are not here legally? Why are they allowed to pay these people these slave wages? And then when 50 get detained, 100 get detained, 150 get deported, nothing happens to the CEOs. Nothing happens to the companies. Why aren't these owners in jail? Well, let's listen to what this CEO has to say about the raid that has completely decimated his company. Here Here is the owner of the plant where this humongous raid took place. We're going to listen to what he says on the same day the raid took place about his feelings on this occurrence. And I'm going to decode what he's really saying. I've got a lot of experience in this as an attorney, and I'm going to answer some of y'all's questions as to why these CEOs are not getting arrested.
I can't wait.
A lot of these individuals, you were under kind of the impression, from what I understand, they had documentation to work for you, and you thought they were working legally. Is that correct?
Well, why would we not? We e-verify. So what are we supposed to do?
Now, let me stop it right here. This owner says, well, we e-verify. How are we supposed to know that these people are not here in the country legally? Now, I'm going to tell you in a second why it's my belief that this man absolutely knew that so many of his workers were not here legally. But let's take it step by step. He says, we e-verify. Well, what does he mean? E-verify is just a system that's operated between the Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration. So when you go apply for a job and you have to fill out that form I-9, the employer puts the information into the e-verify system, and it compares your information that you put on the I-9 with the information that's in the Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration records. So the system then gives the employer a response regarding the status of the employee, the prospective employee, saying that this person is authorized to work, that the person is not authorized to work, or that it's inconclusive and more investigation needs to be done. So this gentleman is saying, hey, I e-verify. The government wants me to e-verify, I e-verify. So how was I supposed to know that over half of my workforce is here illegally? And that's true. I believe him when he says he e-verifies, but that's just the first step. Let's listen a little bit closer.
Can you
Hold up. First of all, we already know that that's
bullshit.
Now, if he had only one person, maybe two. But man, come on, you know good and well. Let's keep going. Oh, my bad. God dang it, I thought I clicked over. Here we go.
tell me? I'd like to know.
I mean, do they just provide their documents like they would any person coming into work for you, right? And then you do the normal situation and nothing, no red flags, no nothing. They were just normal people, and then all of a sudden you find out.
Precisely.
Man, this dude is lying through his goddamn cotton picking teeth, man. Come on, dude. You looking like the person that's interviewed you. That ain't a cop. Relax, bruh. Because you know you did wrong. You know you was bringing all the people in.
Any person coming into work for you, right? And then you do the normal situation and nothing, no red flags, no nothing. They were just normal people. And then all of a sudden you find out.
Precisely.
They're using American citizens' identities.
Right.
So the reporter says, hey, they just come in with these documents and you use these documents to e-verify and everything checks out. So it's all good, right? And the CEO says, precisely. Now, let me explain to you what's really going on in these streets and how these illegal immigrants are beating the e-verify system. When you go apply for a job and they're requesting all of these identification documents, there are really just two types. The first type are documents that actually belong to you, and the second type are documents that do not belong to you. Now, these illegal immigrants who are working under the table cannot provide the documents that actually belong to them because they don't have them. So they have to provide documents that do not belong to them. Now, there are two types of those documents. If I'm going to present documents that do not belong to me, I am going to either present fake documents or real documents. The fake documents are just made up. The name is invented, the birth date is invented, the picture, everything is invented. These documents are very easy to get and they're cheap. These fake documents were huge back in the day, but they're not worth very much now because of the e-verify system. By far, the much better option for these illegal aliens is to use real documents. It's much better for the aliens because the real documents are much more likely to work. Now, the real documents cost a lot more on the market, but that's something that these illegal aliens are willing to invest in. One of the biggest issues with using real documents is that they destroy the real person's tax history with the IRS. It takes so many documents and police reports records, and countless hours to try to clear your name when someone has been using your identity to work. Now, let me say this. Interestingly, you hear a lot of aliens who are in the country legally say that they want the illegals to go back home. One of the issues is that the legal aliens are much more likely to be targeted for this type of crime. This is because if an illegal who speaks zero English goes to apply for a job with the name Sarah Johnson, it could raise a red flag. But there's no red flag raised when the illegal says she's Araceli Rosario Hernandez Garcia. The employer says, well, okay, that fits the description. So 9 times out of 10, the identity that's going to be stolen belongs to an alien who actually came here the right way and has all of their documentation in order. Now, another wrinkle to this that we see all the time is that the illegal alien does not steal the identity of the citizen. The identity was actually given to them by the citizen. Now, what do I mean by that? Listen, it's common for there to be Hispanic families where some of the family members are here legally and some of the family members are not. So say you are a 24-year-old woman and you're not here legally, but you have a 29-year-old sister that is. You say, hey, give me your papers so I can go apply for this job. She gives you her documents and her documents pass the E-Verify system. And then you start to work. Trust me, this happens at these jobs all the time, and they are not looking very hard at the pictures on the IDs that are presented. I've seen siblings, cousins, even friends get away with this. The companies are hiring people at $8.47 an hour. They have an incentive to look the other way, and they do. I also need to say, though, that this is still a crime, even though the documents were given voluntarily. If you present these documents as your own, it could be identity theft, it could be fraud, it could be perjury, depending on the jurisdiction and the type of job. And your sister's tax history is going to be all jacked up. So the employer says, hey, I use the E-Verify system, so it's not my fault that these workers are working here illegally. That's a huge benefit of the E-Verify system. It allows the employer a good faith defense against these allegations of knowingly hiring all of these illegal aliens. Let's continue with this owner and see what he says. And guys, let me pause for a second. I know we're talking about the corruption that's in this immigration system, but it's not the only system that's corrupt. If you or someone you love is on Medicare, this matters. As you can see here, the UPS, not with my decades-old Medicare, work with 0152
I could not
30163
found it.
Yeah.
These are good, hard.
That they were using other people's identities.
I could not believe it. I was dumbfounded.
Yeah.
These are good, hard-working people.
That's right.
Do you
They're
think
gonna stay under
that this
the radar.
man really didn't know that his workers were there illegally? Put in the comments whether you think this owner knew that his workforce was working there illegally. I know I do, but let me explain to you something. The minimum wage where this occurred in Nebraska is $13.50 an hour. They just raised it this year from $12 an hour. Now, what do they do at these places? I have a lot of experience in this because Georgia is the top chicken producing state in the entire nation. We have a city about an hour outside of Atlanta that's called the poultry capital of the world and produces and processes millions and millions of chickens each year. The work at these meat and chicken plants is about the same, and it is brutal. I have represented tons of these people over the years. Let me tell you about the work. It is insane. Because you're dealing with meats and chickens, the workplace has to be extremely cold. You're there working in these inhumane conditions, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day, every single day. You're working in and out of huge freezers. Your hands and feet, they freeze. Your joints are all messed up. You are doing extremely repetitive tasks with your hands. You get carpal tunnel syndrome. You get a lot of use injuries. It's assembly line work. Maybe you're on the slaughter line. Maybe you're on the trim trimming line. Maybe you're deboning. So many times people get cut and they lose fingers. The floors are all wet. You're constantly slipping, you're falling, you're tearing ligaments, you're breaking bones. Believe me when I tell you that most Americans will not work the slaughter line for $14 an hour, especially when Chick-fil-A is paying $17. The work in these plants is brutal. So if you ask me, did this owner know that these workers were here illegally? My opinion, my educated opinion, is that he absolutely knew. He knows Americans will not do these jobs deboning and trimming and slaughtering for $14.70 an hour. This man is going to have to jack up the wages, and that is exactly what he does not want to do because it cuts into his profits. I have seen these workers' paychecks, and would you believe that they get raises every year of 23 cents or 34 cents an hour? I mean, just think about it for yourself. You're an American. What would you say to your employer if he gave you a yearly raise of 34 cents an hour? Well, do you know what these illegals say? They say, gracias, jefe. Le agradezco muchísimo por esta muestra de confianza. But what would you say as an American to your boss?
He know that Spanish, dog.
There is no American, no adult in their 30s or 40s that can survive on $15.70 an hour and getting 34 cents in raises. This man absolutely knows that.
They really, truly are. And they're part of our family.
Damn.
So what?
They get free pop, they get free ice cream, they get free donuts every Friday.
Oh my God.
He says they're part of our family. They get free pop. They get free soda pop. They get free ice cream. We give them donuts on Fridays. It's like they're my own sons and daughters. I give them free pizza. They're my family.
We love them. They're great people. It makes me so sad. They have families.
Dude, that's $500. Oh my God. They make it $560. That's, I don't know if they taking taxes out because they got the documentation, but it's under the aunt's or somebody else's tax ID number. Because if he running a business like that, he gotta take taxes out on them. But before they even take taxes out, at 40 hours a week, that's $560 a week. Okay. And he said, just to let you know, I'm gonna do the math for you. I think $17. Let's say $17 an hour. 17.00 times 40 hours a week, I'm thinking. Well, that's 680. I gotta look up to see what the average McDonald's where you ain't in no freezer. Golly, that's crazy, man. He knew. I know he knew.
My own sons and daughters. I give them free pizza. They're my family.
We love them. They're great people. It makes me so sad. They have families.
Does it make you sad that they committed a crime, or does it make you sad they're being removed?
It makes me sad that I don't understand why in the hell they would use false ID when they can, I think, get a visa. Now, maybe
apparently
if they have a criminal background, they can't get a visa, but I don't know that. And I just assume that.
This man absolutely knows that the words that are coming out of his mouth are BS. He knows that these people cannot get any type of visa to work at his operation. It's pure BS what he's saying.
Body language.
Good people. Had no reason to think not.
So where do you go from here, Gary? What's
well,
next for
I
you?
understand there's a program. We can work with Homeland Security and we can get visas from them along with a list of employees that we can interview, and the ones that we want, we give them a visa, and it's squeaky clean.
There will be no visa. What Homeland Security is going to do is maybe provide him a list of the people that are at his employment that cannot work. But ain't nobody getting no visas around here, especially in this administration. If you are not here legally, President Trump has made it very clear that you're on your way out. And President Trump is not concerned about this man's profit, about his bottom line. President Trump wants him to raise his prices, raise his employment government rate pay and hire Americans first.
Because Homeland signs off on it, from what I understand. Yeah. And I didn't know that until now. And isn't that kind of sad?
Like, you think that should be more of an open conversation, or a public thing, of that you can have that access?
That would have eliminated today.
If you had known that there was a route you could have taken to get workers who can actually apply for a visa or qualify.
Exactly.
Okay.
No one's qualifying.
So
exactly right.
So is your frustration more with the individuals or more with the federal government right now doing what they're doing?
I think the federal government. Because why didn't we know about this program?
Okay.
Can you tell me?
So it's more the withholding of, like, hey, you have access to all these individuals that want jobs, but you didn't even know that, and instead you ended up with individuals using false identities.
Precisely.
Okay.
So why wasn't, that's terrible. Why weren't we notified?
Well, maybe this story will allow that to be a little bit more of an open dialogue. Maybe more individuals will learn from what you went through, because you're not the only one. You can't be the only one, right? That's the other thing. Your business cannot be the only one going through this.
I'm told this morning that we have been the only company that e-verifies, according to one of the agents.
Now, that could absolutely be true. A lot of companies look the other way and don't even e-verify. But again, sometimes when these companies even do e-verify, they look the other way. What do I mean? Suppose I'm this CEO and I hire a HR manager, an HR supervisor to supervise all the hiring. Someone comes in with their I-9, they come in with their documents so that they can be e-verified. I tell my HR manager, you need to e-verify everybody. Get all their documents and make sure we put them in the system. So what happens? The person comes in, gives me his ID, and I look at it, and I look at him, and I look at the ID, and I look at him. Guess what? It's not him. I can tell that this is his brother or it's his cousin. So I get the CEO on the phone. I say, hey, boss, we got this guy here. I know we need workers. I know we're understaffed. He's presented some documents, but I don't think that they're his. What does the CEO say? Hey, if he presented it, it's on him. Run it, see what happens. So what happens?
By the way, they do this at the border also. They do this at the border. Yeah, that's why Trump came and started cracking down on this stuff. They was doing the same thing.
The HR manager puts in the information that he gets from the prospective employee, and the documents pass because they're the brother's documents, or they're the cousin's documents, or they're the friend's documents. Right. So the illegal alien has employment, which is what he wants, and the CEO has employees, which is what he wants. So everybody wins, right? This is how the system is being gamed.
That's the other thing. Your business cannot be the only one going through this.
I'm told this morning that we have been the only company that e-verifies, according to one of the agents. He said his experience has been the employers are part of the problem.
That's what we were under the impression of too when we first got here. Yeah, and then we learned that you did do your due diligence.
Yes, and then we found out that doesn't make any difference if you e-verify or not.
Now, because you took all of the processes and all of the right steps, are you facing any backlash, any penalties, anything like that? Or are you're obviously working with the federal government?
Well, the penalty we might be facing is not being able to hire people. What do you think these kids are going to do? When this hits the media, they're going to be scared to death, even if they're legit or not, I think.
Yeah, Stop it right there. He just told on himself. He just told on himself. The reporter asking a question says, hey, you've hired all these illegals. Are you worried about any consequences to you or to your company? He says, no, my biggest concern is where am I going to hire new people? Everybody's going to hear about this. Everybody knows that we got raided. Everybody knows that ICE is hot on our trail. We're hot. He says, so how are we supposed to get new people? But do you see the problem? New people are not afraid of ICE. New people are not scared of ICE raids. He told on himself because he's scared that he might not get new people, but the new people that he wants are these illegals. Guys, we're going to end it right here. This is getting ridiculous. What do you think the solution is? How can this country go about stopping illegal aliens from working? Both the employees and the employers so many times are colluding against the system. What would be your solution? Put it in the comments below.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer.
dude, you gotta pay that minimum wage, man, or whatever the average to work in a meat freezer. You know, I think I want to say about 20, at least 23 an hour, 24 an hour, something, 21, 20. It got to be $20 an hour. Let me see, $20 an hour. Let's see. You know, my math ain't all that great. Let's just say $20 an hour times 40. That's $800 a week. God dog, boy. It ain't no real money. So $800 a week. If you're making $20 an hour, I got to do some more math, man. $25 an hour, maybe? I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Y'all let me know, a person working in the meat factory or maybe somebody managing the McDonald's. I don't know what the minimum wage is. I'm gonna Google it. Hey, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Come on, old Pops. You know, got daggone cotton picking where these people are working for peanuts. And you've been paying all of them peanuts. And that's why you feeding them pizzas and all this stuff. Yeah, right. Come on, dude. I was born at night, not last night. Look here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.